All right, my friends, welcome to episode 154 of Prof and Dev Play Games. I am the Professor Larry at Prof Plays Games on Twitter. Over there is Anthony the Dev at Summer Speak. He is Mr. Camperman, always camping, you and your family.
It's the summer.
Yeah,
and
get out.
Really, if it wasn't for my wife, I probably wouldn't. But
you'd be out and about.
Yeah, I would not. I'm not the one that goes out camping that often. I enjoy my coziness in my home, but
yeah.
I go out. I go spend time as a family in the outdoors. This time was a little bit crazy. We didn't even know if we were going to get to go camping because all the smoke up here.
Yeah,
and where we were going to go,
that affected you.
It did, because where we were going to go camping, in kind of this north central Washington. At first it looked like, okay, maybe we'll just have to go out instead of leaving on Thursday. We'll leave on Friday and we'll get there. Then midday Wednesday, new weather advisory came out. Like, oh yeah, this is unhealthy smoking through Monday. So, well, we're not going to do that. So what options do we have? And we found, basically someone had canceled at this state park over on the peninsula, in this place called Port Townsend. And so there's a Fort Worden State Park there, and someone canceled, like, it's a beach campground. We took it. And so I went to the beach for a few days around giant old World War I-ish time frame artillery bunkers. So that was fun. That
sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. Cool. Kids loved it. We had a blast. So
nice to think on your feet and find something new.
Yeah. We had it was either do that, cancel if we couldn't find anything else, or we decided if we did have to cancel a camping trip, we were just going to do day trips.
Right.
Like go south, go to Mount St. Helens, which we haven't taken the kids to yet. It's not horribly far. There's another couple towns just around that we know, like, hey, they're going to be pretty much without smoke. It should be okay. We can just do day trips, and we'll just go. We'll make the best of it, no matter what. But
yeah, we
got campground. We got to go camp and do all that. Weirdly enough, where we camped, this Fort Worden State Park, Modest Mouse was playing.
No, what? Are you kidding me?
I couldn't. The concert was sold out. Like, we did not know this, and where our campground is, it's all part of the state park. I can still hear the concert at night, like in a low kind of. You could make out the voice still.
Yeah.
Kind of easy listening. Kind of didn't keep me awake or anything, but yeah, they did 2 nights. They did Friday and Saturday. Modest Mouse was playing randomly.
Dang, that's cool. That's pretty random.
It was incredibly random. Like, okay, that's the thing.
Awesome. So that's a good segue into Gamescom. No, it's not at all.
Completely. I'm sure there were some concerts at Gamescom, right?
It was a modest conference with modest news. There we go. So this episode we're going to talk about Gamescom. We're going to talk about this shadow drop of this UK Nindies Spotlight, and then talk about what I've been playing, I guess.
Yeah. I've played one. Had one day this week of playing something, and on Tuesday, cool. But I can't talk about that because that's continuation of what I've been playing before. But it's been fun.
Okay. Well, I guess it'll be me talking about, probably Hollow Knight.
Yeah, let's be honest.
Let's start with Gamescom. There were a lot of announcements of things that we knew were coming, in terms of here's a release date. Here's a release date. New release date for Spyro and stuff like that, but no big news, I don't think. Was there anything big that came in at Gamescom that you were like, oh, wow?
No, not at all.
Okay.
There's, like I said, mostly release dates, a lot of new trailers.
Yeah.
One thing for me personally, like playing a lot of, there was announcement trailer for a BattleTech expansion. So
the game that you're playing right now?
The BattleTech one that I have.
The one that just came out.
Yeah, they announced their first expansion for that. That was
nice.
Which I expected, that they're owned by Paradox now. So Paradox does a lot of their announcements here, being European publisher. I don't know. I haven't got to watch it yet, but man, did I see a lot of people talking about the Overwatch short.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it either. It wasn't about
Diva.
Diva, that's it. Yep.
And I've just seen a lot of coworkers and just people on my Twitter feed talk about it. And so now being back, I'm like, I need to watch it tonight. I've always enjoyed the Overwatch shorts, so seems cool.
Does this mean Diva has never had one before?
No.
Wow. Okay.
This is
She's
her character. Yeah, she's super popular
character. Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I was excited just to see people getting hands-on with games that we heard about earlier or at E3. For example, I think the thing I was most excited about was for someone to get hands-on with Diablo 3 on Switch. And there was some two different gameplay videos that came out. One, I don't know if you probably didn't see these, but one, both looked really good, 60 frames per second. But one, there weren't that many enemies on screen. Like the mob density was really low, so people were worried that because it's the Switch, it was going to be kind of gimped in that way. But it just happened that they were in an area where there weren't a ton of enemies, because there was a different video of a different area completely where mob density was pretty good. Yeah. So it really, I mean, to my eyes at least, it's probably going to look just as good. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be texture differences or whatever, but overall it looks like it plays well. So
I figure with the Switch, it's mostly going to be particles and effects reduction on those, just so that it doesn't go crazy. But yeah, I think on Wednesday I watched some during the day. I watched a clip of someone playing, and I was screaming at them because they died. I was like, use your potion. It's right there. It says R. It's flashing. Just use it. And they didn't. They died.
You really shouldn't die very often in Diablo. I guess unless you're in hardcore mode. You can get die precisely once in that mode.
Yes.
But it's more like, I guess.
No, you shouldn't. If you're doing well, it's typically rare to die unless you're going up against harder elite mobs that have just stupid prefixes and suffixes on them that make it a pain in the ass. But no, you should rarely die if you know what you're doing. I was pretty happy with seeing that on the Switch. I am so excited for that game on Switch.
I was briefly considering, do I get it digital? Do I get it physical? And then the whole Amazon Prime dropping to 20% and all that other kind of stuff. I realized that my renewal date for Prime was next week, and I decided not to renew.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I'll be getting digital. Like I think you said last week, that it just pushed me more towards the digital storefronts. And
I think that's why they dropped a lot of this.
Because people were buying them digital?
Yeah.
Anyway?
I honestly think there's a push on even Amazon side, and you can say that they probably helped push Best Buy Gamer Club off the edge sooner.
Oh, absolutely.
Sooner rather than later, but it was on the down. Like, there's the margins on physical is so tight. Mm-hmm. They want people to use digital all the time now. It's just cheaper overall.
But who's buying digital from Amazon? Like, Amazon loses out completely on that.
Amazon sells digital.
Oh, I know they do, but why would I buy it on Amazon as opposed to just straight off of
I don't
PSN
know.
Or whatever?
Sometimes they do sales on Amazon. I don't know.
I see.
I've never... did I ever buy anything off of Amazon? I think I've gotten a couple things because they went on sale through Amazon Digital. It's just code. Okay. It's for PS4 specifically.
Yeah. I know they sell them. I just didn't... Digital just doesn't seem any reason to buy it anywhere else except for straight from PSN.
Just sales sometimes. That's all.
Yeah. That's true. The other big news that came out of, I thought it was big news, and I really wanted to bring it up with you so you could explain to me how it's not big news or what it means, is I saw several news stories where people were super excited that CD Projekt Red said that Cyberpunk is playable from start to finish, minus assets and whatever else and bug fixes and stuff like that.
That's a huge milestone in the development of a game.
Okay, can you tell us more about that? What that? I mean,
that just means that they've got a. But I would say, think of it as they have submitted their first draft. Oh, okay. It is a complete draft of the game. You can technically play it. Does it have all the options and features and enemies, side quests, UI features, weapons, armors, vehicles in it? No, but in a very GIMP state, you can make it through.
So it's just critical path, you think?
Yeah, I bet it's mostly just critical path. And it's first draft. I mean, they need to make it playable all the way through so they can start tuning it and adjusting every system and every piece of text and dialogue. The whole thing. Like, now they can iterate on the whole entire package. Which still means that to me, I'm like, yeah, it's still going to be a couple of years before it's out.
Yeah, it still seems like 2020 to me, but my question for you was, based on this first draft thing, does that mean it's maybe likely to be 2020 or likely to be later?
I still think they're shooting for 2020.
Okay.
It's in my head, it's doable. Tight? Probably, because the last 10% of a game is probably where 90% of the work is.
Oh, man.
That's just where all the edge cases come out, and
all the bugs pop up and stuff.
All the bugs and all the fine-tuning, and that's where you polish and polish and polish and polish, and that's where you start seeing, like, those big changes start becoming smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and it's a slow grind there for the end, towards the end of a game. So does it get delayed? Potentially. But maybe not. I mean, things can go well. It can happen. I can still see fall 2020 as a reasonable date. Now, let's wait a year and see what they're showing next year.
Right. If it's still
that.
Closed doors kind of thing, or
yeah, it's a long process to get there. But yes, the first playing through the entire thing, start to finish, is a big first step. That means they at least have a critical story written. They know probably at this point then overarching NPCs, themes, world. It gives an anchor so they can start building out the rest of the world for the most part. What's important, what's not.
I like the way that you described it as a first draft, because when I think about like my short stories or the novel that I wrote, like I need to get that down so that I can like chip away at things that don't make sense, or rearrange things, or revise things. You kind of need the bones to do that next step. So that makes a lot of sense. But it is exciting to know that they've got that piece so that they can move forward. So it's not like, I think it just tells us how far along they've come in development, which is nice to know.
Yes. It means that in the many years that they've been working on, they've put a lot of work already into it, but they still have a lot more to do. And I'm sure that team's going to grow. And for this last few years, it's because this is all content for the most part. And content takes a ton of people.
Right. You're building assets. You're doing modeling, I guess. You're doing, I don't know if you're redoing VO.
Animations.
Animation. Mm-hmm.
VO is probably not happening for another year.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they might have temp VO in right now, but they don't want to why pay for VO that you might just cut?
They're just going to cut, exactly.
So you want to do VO later, if possible. But modeling, rigging, animation, level design, building those assets, looking at the world, it's not going to be a fast process to build out each building, interiors, get the lighting right, get it running on all the consoles properly. That'll be fun.
Right. And especially if you're going to be hitting current gen and then next gen.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to be doing. Obviously, the Switch version, too.
Exactly. This thing will totally run on the Switch.
Motherfucker, if they put Witcher 3 on Switch, I would buy it for the, fourth time?
I don't think it can run on Switch.
I know. It won't, but I bought it PC, Xbox, PS4. Fuck, I'd buy it again, probably.
Why not?
I'm a fucking crazy person.
Switch 2, whenever that happens.
Yeah, I'd buy that just for that game, to have it portably. Speaking of portable games, at Gamescom they also showed more footage of the new Star Fox game, which I guess they call Starlink, but they announced that maybe they announced this already, but you can play the whole thing as Star Fox.
Oh yeah,
and people who got their hands on it, I think it was the IGN crew, the Nintendo crew, they're like, it's fucking Star Fox. It is a Star Fox game. It should have been what Star Fox Zero was. It is Star Fox with some other
the fact that you can just buy it on other consoles without Star Fox.
Yeah, no thanks. I'm gonna buy it on Switch so I can play that as Star Fox. But they're talking about some of the mechanics that were really nice. Where you basically, they said it was like imagine mixing Star Fox with No Man's Sky.
Yeah, that's what the demos look like that I saw at E3.
That's cool. There's like one of the shoulder buttons, you just press it and you can jump from orbit down to the ground and back up, and it seemed a lot. They're talking about how easy it was to control the flight, which I always find tricky in games, so that's awesome. Looking forward to that. Just some small announcements. Master Chief Collection is coming to Game Pass, and they're doing a 4K update to that game, if anyone cares. That's been out for years now, but I guess it's good to have that big heavyweight come to Games Pass. Just a bunch of release dates and things. So
yeah, it was this is kind of what Gamescom seems to be now. Since it's so close to E3, they just are like, here's new trailers, here's some actual hands-on, little bit more video like info on stuff coming out, but nothing that's like, oh man, new game announced. Although there was a few new like smaller games, but they just, whenever you look at it, you don't get the press that you would I wouldn't expect, but it's really gets buried under all the announcements and everything. because a lot of people are, the main news sites and stuff are just so excited about some of these big games. I saw gameplay of Sekiro.
Yeah, what did you think of that?
It looks, I'm going to try it. Combat looks crazy, Souls-like difficult, but also very, very different than Bloodborne or Dark Souls.
Someone was saying
different.
Someone said they compared it to a fighting game.
It kind of looks like a fighting game. There's a lot of parrying and blocking and like, I mean, it's samurai. It's samurai katana fighting. Finding your opening, quick strikes, and whenever you do find your opening, you just kill them. So it looks really cool. It's very vertical, has a ton of verticality compared to the other games, and the ability to traverse that verticality very quickly with like grappling hooks and things. So that looked. I was sold at least somewhat on it, and I want to try it when it comes out. Maybe it will be the From game that grabs me.
Yeah, I actually haven't even looked at a trailer because I just have not gotten into any of those games despite trying 3 of them. I don't know. Something about it just doesn't get me.
Because I appreciate the quality of them. I understand why people like them.
Right.
And I'm not going to push myself this time and be like, I must like this, or... but I will give it a shot.
Yeah, I think that there is something there that I would really enjoy if I put the 10 to 20 hours to understand the systems, and that's just not a place where I'm at right now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, I don't know. If it were portable, maybe, because Hollow Knight is, I mean, I'm 55 hours into that game right now, and I started playing it when E3 happened.
That's true. Another thing from they did announce, like this wasn't a big announcement, they're done with Souls. They made the announcement that they were not going to be doing another Dark Souls game. They are done. They are done.
Okay.
They don't own it.
Bandai Namco does, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But they are not going to make another one themselves. So if Bandai Namco wants to do one, that they'll need to find a new development house.
Right. Well, and that's not to say that they're not going to do games in that vein, at least. So,
but they're just done with that universe and those.
Yeah.
They're cutting that one off, and I can only imagine that they're doing Bloodborne 2. The game just still continues to get talked about and shown, and like huge modding communities, whatever. Like, I can only imagine Sony's like, give us another one, please.
Every single time there's a Sony event, people are just like, Bloodborne 2, and when it's not announced, they're just so down.
Yeah.
People want it so badly, and I know it's a fucking awesome game. I don't know, that one's just too dark for me. I don't know what the hell it is. I need to get past the first boss. Our friend Travis keeps telling me, once you get past the first boss, maybe it'll click.
I got past the first boss, and that was where
and it didn't click for you either?
No.
Yeah, okay.
I finished got through the first boss. I understand the loop of the game. That's not an issue. I understand. It was mostly the time that I wanted to spend executing, and I just didn't want to spend the time. It demands your attention, of course. Yeah, it was just a lot more practice and time than I felt like spending. It's fine though. So yeah, I don't know. Anything else out of Gamescom that caught your eye?
No, not really. But right before Gamescom was the UK Nindies Spotlight.
Yeah.
Which just came out of nowhere. And it was, I guess, eventually they were saying that they were trying to highlight the Nindies coming out of Europe. Yeah. And there's actually another Indies Direct with...
this week, right?
Yeah, this week on the 28th on Tuesday with... what's the guy's name? The head of Indies there. Damon Baker. Yeah. So there'll be a lot more announcements there, which is great because I'm realizing... I realized pretty quickly, Switch is what I play the most right now. And on the Switch, I'm just knee deep in indies. Like, I'm finishing Hollow Knight, and then I want to play Yakuza Express next, and I want to play Minute. Like, I've got these things loaded up, ready to go. Like, these are the games that I'm excited about this year. Like, it's so interesting. Like, I have God of War on my PS4, and all I want to do is play indies on my Switch. It's a real switch for me right now. It's really interesting. Switch. So, the announcements out of this UK Direct I thought they were interesting games. Like the first one, the Night Call, it was like I don't know if it demos very well, but cab kind of narrative. Yeah, mystery kind of game. That caught my eye pretty well. I made sure I watched some of this earlier tonight. Really watched through that. That one looked cool. Weirdly, I had seen stuff on the game Bad North before. Oh yeah, the tower defense kind of game.
Tower defense, like really reduced RTS type thing. Weirdly, I was doing it when I was researching pathfinding in Unity, because it's built in Unity. I think it's Unity, or that one might have been Unreal. But either way, it was when I was researching pathfinding, and they had articles talking about their pathfinding. So it was fun to see that one showing up. I was like, oh, okay.
And that was a launching today game.
Yeah, it was a launching today game. I think it's done decently well for them so far.
Yeah, I like the art style.
Yeah.
A lot. It's kind of like I don't know, not cel shaded, but kind of blocky.
Yeah, it's like low poly is the term.
Low poly, yeah, thank you.
What else from there?
Moonlighter. Moonlighter's coming to Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. You play as a shopkeeper who basically at night he goes out and gets the weapons and stuff he sells to the heroes during the day.
It's so good.
Such a great premise, man. And it came out this year for PS4. So I want, all these indie games that come out on PS4, like Guacamelee 2, for example. Yeah. I'm like, I'm just waiting. Bring it to Switch and I'll play it.
Switch, please. I want these portable. Some stuff in there that excited me that's not coming out for a bit is like Slay the Spire.
Oh my god, yeah. Isn't that awesome?
I have friends that play that thing and love it, and I'm like, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for it to be out of early access, and now I'm just like, I'm waiting for it to be Switch.
People fucking love that game, man.
Like, I've watched my coworkers stream it, and it's freaking awesome. Like, and it is a really fun card game. It's really neat. It's really well put together.
And that's an insta buy for me. I cannot wait. That looks really, really good. I think the same with you. Partially, it's on the PC, so I'm like, I'm probably not going to play on the PC, so I'm going to wait. But so many podcasts are like, you guys have to play this game, and it's just. I was surprised it was coming to Switch. I think I was the most excited for that from this entire presentation. Although there are a bunch of other ones that were interesting. Morphe's Law was another one that dropped.
I've seen stuff on that for a few years.
Yeah, it's a cool premise. Like you shoot, and as you get shot, you shrink, and when you hit people, you grow in size. So if you're like a
specific
better skilled
body
person,
parts,
body parts too, exactly. Yeah. But you're better at shooting, you grow, so it's easier for you to get hit. I heard the netcode was pretty bad when it launched, so that kind of sucks.
And then you do that, and as you get bigger or smaller, you get different abilities.
Oh, okay.
So it's a really cool concept.
Super cool concept. I wonder how the execution is going to be over time.
I don't know. I hope well. But it's a cool game. All these things that they showed, I was like, oh, these are neat. This is cool. But really starting to showcase, like, oh yeah, the Switch is the the indie machine.
It really fucking is, man. And there's just like any good indie anywhere has got to be coming. Like I would be surprised. I would be shocked if on Tuesday we don't hear something about games like I just had it in my head and I forgot. The one FTL, the new one they're doing, Into the Breach.
Oh, Into the Breach. Yeah.
Something like that, that caliber of games has got to be coming over to Switch. And it's nice.
Have they done FTL on Switch yet?
No.
I could see that showing up too.
Yeah. I just got that on my iPad. I'm looking forward to trying that out.
Oh, it's good. It's good anywhere. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
I heard the iPad is a really good version of it. And then Everspace. I don't know anything about Everspace. Maybe you do.
It's always the one. There's always these space games. I gotta make sure I'm thinking of the right thing. Okay, it is Rockfish. So I used to play... They've done a number of other space games. God, what is it? I can't remember the names of them, but I used to play them. Weirdly, they were on iOS, like pre-iPad. And so they were big, like, space spanning, trading, whatever, explorer, privateer type games, with horribly written stories and voice acting. But the combat was entertaining enough, and then the buying and selling, buying low, selling high, upgrading your ships, the whole thing kept me occupied for many a night. So this is one that's always been on my radar, but I know this one's roguelike, so I have no clue how this game works.
I feel like that it was it? Oh, it's PSX 2016. Everspace was there. I saw that live. I was trying to remember where I saw that at. Because it released 2017 on PS4, so I saw it 2016 at PSX. yeah, I don't know, not really my game, but neither is that. There's a Baba Is You game that I didn't really understand. Did you see that?
No,
didn't
see that one.
The tagline is you don't just make the rules, you are the rules. And it's like a puzzle game. But I've only seen screenshots of it. And I don't really see how it works, but maybe if I see it in motion, because I didn't see any of this in motion. I just saw, I listened to it on my commute and then, watched or saw some screenshots of the games I was interested in. But yeah, I think the Nintendo is being buoyed by these indie games, and it's, filling in the catalog between for this year, at least most of the ports coming out. But yeah, it's a fun little machine to play those indie games on.
It really is.
Speaking of, I have been playing this week a little game called Hollow Knight. And before I talk about what I've been playing, I just want to shout out to my friend Brad, who I mentioned quite a bit on this show. He picked up Hollow Knight after hearing us talk about it ad nauseum. He decided to try it out because he's the biggest Metroid fan that I know. Just obsessed with Metroid and Metroidvania kind of games. And he really liked the game. He picked it up maybe a week and a half ago. Man, he's further than I am. He's beat the game. He's gotten like 106%. And he's like giving me tips now, which is kind of cool. So we've been texting back and forth about the final boss because for most of this week, have been cleaning up percentage. I got from 93. I'm at 102% now for this game. And I'm down to, there's a quest in the game where you have to get a flower from one side of the map to the other without taking any hits. And then you get your last piece of health from that. And then the final boss. So there's a couple weeks ago, I told you I beat the game. Like I just wrecked the guy in one try. But that's not really the final boss. If you come back with a certain charm when you're wrecking him at a certain point, another character comes in, does something, and then I don't want to tell you what it was because you're going to play the game. But then you enter that character's dreams to fight the real boss. And that real boss has been wrecking my shit. I've tried 75 times now to beat this boss, and I have not beat this boss yet. Brad beat the boss in 3 tries. So I am just getting, like, everything else in the game has been fine. Even like I went back and beat the DLC boss today, and took me maybe 10 times. But just something about this final boss is just wrecking my shit, and I'm just going to try. After the podcast, I'm going to go and try to beat the boss. I've tried Brad's selection of charms. I've tried other charms. I've tried everything I could think of, and I'm still getting wrecked. But once I beat this boss, there's only 2 more things to do: the flower quest, and then the last piece of DLC from the last DLC, and then I will have 107% of the game, which is my goal, because the new content dropped on Thursday, which is called Godmaster, which is basically boss rush. Like all the bosses from the games. The first Pantheon, I think you fight them all in a row. And then the next one is the same, but they're harder. Then there's eventually the highest Pantheon. I forget exactly what it's called, but it's any boss can one hit kill you. You have to get through the entire Pantheon without dying. Without getting hit. Yeah, without getting hit. No. So it's a boss rush. I am not interested in a boss rush. I'm probably 5 hours away from being sick of the game because I'm just doing the same thing over and over right now, trying to beat this boss. So I'm bashing my head against the wall and then going and finishing up some of the other things, wrapping all those loose ends up. I'm hoping to beat this boss tonight. That's what I've been doing for most of the week. That's the only game I played this week. And man, it is so good. Like when I stopped fighting that boss and went and did the rest of the DLC quests and things, I was having a ton of fun when I came back to fight the boss. And the thing that's interesting about the boss is you have to fight the Hollow Knight and then go into his dreams and then fight the real boss. And when you die, you have to go back and do it all again. So you end up fighting one boss and then going to the final boss. Your charm builds, for me at least, need to be different. Like I need to have a different build for the Hollow Knight versus the last boss, which is called the Radiance. But you can't switch your charms in the middle. So for me, I end up trying to find something in the middle, some sort of charm build that like halfway works for both of them. When I think I probably could have beat this already if I had a different charm build for each one, or was just better at platforming. This last one is you're trying to fight this boss that has a ton of health, and then there's just tons of platforming challenges going on at the same time in the room. In no way would you have any fun doing this.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's an optional final boss. Like you don't need this to beat the game. But I'm gonna cough. Hold on a second. But this game is just magnificent. It's incredible. I cannot stop until I beat it. I can't stop until I squeeze every single thing out of it and then move on. I am so excited to move on and so sad to move on. It's such a weird feeling.
Yeah, I need to try it. I'm sitting here. I have until tomorrow to figure out if I'm going to buy it. 'Cause it's on sale.
It's at the. I will put $10 in the mail tomorrow, dude. Fucking buy it. It is incredible. It is. You are going to like it.
That seems right. Fine. Let's just buy it.
It's a fucking steal. It's like them paying you to play that game, man. It's so, oh my God, it's so good. And I have hesitated saying that to you, saying like, I think you will like it, but like thinking like you are going to like it, like just do it until Brad played it. Because I was thinking the same thing.
I bought it. There it is.
Well,
Done.
I'll send you an envelope. So Brad, he's so into Metroidvanias. I kind of was hesitating to say like, you're really going to like this game. Because I don't know if he really would or not. Because I haven't played a ton of Metroids or, Symphony of the Night or any of those things.
Yeah.
I get the concept, of course. And this one just feels like a magnificent version of a Metroidvania. And he agreed. Like, he's like, this is a really, really good version of a Metroidvania. So, yeah. Once you get a few hours in, get the first upgrade, basically.
Okay.
The first skill upgrade. And that's where it kind of opens up. Yeah, so that's what I've been playing. And actually, I also played a little bit of Hearthstone in bed. That was pretty awesome.
Nice. So that's what I played on Tuesday.
Oh, nice. Uh-huh.
They opened up the Boomsday content, which is puzzles.
Oh, I didn't even try that yet.
It is basically 20 sets of different puzzle types. Lethal is the one that I've done a few of, which is it's like 6 to 7 puzzles in a row. And lethal is you have one turn to kill your opponent, and they've set up a board state.
Oh, fuck.
It's just puzzles. Yeah, it's just puzzles.
Good God, that sounds awesome.
Oh, it's tons of fun. I remember this back in the day. When we were in high school, I would get Magic magazines or card game magazines, Scry, Duelist, whichever ones, and they would usually have 1 or 2 puzzles, usually Magic, and they're like, here's what you're trying to do, here's your hand, here's what your enemy has. What's the solution?
It's kind of like those chess puzzles in the newspaper.
It totally is exactly those two. It's the same thing. And awesome. This is just, I don't know, 20, probably 100, 120 puzzles of different types. So there's lethal. I've done lethal and I did one set of mirror, which is you need to, in one turn, get the creatures on your board to mirror the creatures on your enemy's board, with the exact same health and everything, and from whatever the state it starts in.
Man, you really have to know your cards.
Yeah, it's a great learning thing because you start learning crazy combos. They're definitely using it as a way to teach you advanced Hearthstone skills and like, oh, look at how these cards work together here. So that's, again, more free content for Hearthstone that is just fun, and if you do it all, you get rewarded with stuff. I know there's a card back if you finish it all, and I think there's either packs or something you get. Doesn't show you what. It's just chests that will open after certain points of getting through the puzzles. So I don't know what they are yet.
That must be really fun for the dev team that, for the most part, the content, I think they've been evolving it in terms of the single player dungeon runs and things like that. But to have something this different must be fun to create. Yeah.
I'm sure the designers had a blast. How hard to make them, because there's 5 levels of each of these 5 categories. And they progressively get harder. The sets get harder. So I'm on the 3rd set of lethal, and it is really hard. You will sit there and just stare at these cards and try different combinations, trying to get what happens. But it's like Blizzard games. It's super quick to just restart it. Like you just hit a button and say, oh, nope, that's wrong. Restart. Try again. So it's really easy to lose time to it. Really easy.
I feel like they knew that I've been gone for a while when I loaded it back up, because I got the free packs you were talking about. 6, I think it was 6 free packs.
6 packs.
4 legendary cards.
Okay.
I was like, okay, you guys are trying to hook me back into this, aren't you?
Yes, of course they are.
Yeah, well, I didn't buy anything, but it worked. I played it a couple nights, and as soon as I beat Hollow Knight, as soon as I beat this final boss, I'll get back to Hearthstone. Yeah. Please, God, let me beat this. It was late last night. I'm sorry, I'm going back to Hollow Knight real fast. Bashed my head against the wall for about an hour and a half. At 10 o'clock, I'm like, I'm going to go to bed. Brad texts me, how's it going? Fucking dying a lot. And he's like, try this thing. So I tried it, and I just wrecked shop and got the closest that I've ever gotten to beating it. I was like, well, I can keep trying. I stayed for another 45 minutes, and I still didn't do it. And I was like, I just go to bed. Usually when I face those kind of platforming challenges or platforming boss challenges, if I sleep on it, the next night I usually beat them the first try. That did not happen. I played another 2 hours today, did not win.
Okay.
So eventually, man, this is, it's going to feel amazing when I finally beat it, so it'll be worth it.
I have to make a correction. I was looking. Everspace is different from the Galaxy on Fire thing from iOS. One is done by Rockfish, one is done by Fish Games.
Well, that's confusing.
Exactly, and they're both space game. Yeah, that's why they got crossed in my head. So they're completely separate. Rockfish and Fish Labs.
Well, hopefully our listeners will forgive you for that.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. That's new thing to remember, everyone. If you actually want to make a space game, your studio name has to have fish in it somewhere.
Yes, somewhere in there. Space Fish. That's the next one.
Space Fish.
Everfish.
Oh, God, please no.
So confusing. Well, that was episode 154 of Prof and Dev Play Games. Please rate us on your favorite podcast service, and we will be back next week to talk all about that Nindy Direct that is coming up on Tuesday. So enjoy that. Hopefully we'll get let's make one bizarre what's the fucking word I'm looking for? Guess. What's the fancy word for guess? Whatever. One announcement you think is gonna come on Tuesday.
Oh, what indie stuff would I expect to be there? I mean, it's gotta be something big. I don't think it's gonna be a new game. I think it's gonna be something big, some big indie on Steam. That people are gonna lose their shit over.
Yeah.
I don't even know anymore.
I still think my guess is going to be Into the Breach. I think Into the Breach will be announced.
Yeah, and that is a good one. That is a good chance. Did they announce Guacamelee 2 for it?
No. Oh, fuck. That's a good guess.
That totally could be it.
Yeah. I don't know if they have any sort of exclusivity with Sony, but...
They might, but Guacamelee came out on PS4 and PC?
Last week, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Or this week, I guess.
Dead Cells came out.
Yep. PUBG. No, just kidding.
There's no way PUBG's running on.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
That company has not done great on their optimization for console. So, Fortnite has some issues on the Switch. It's not the cleanest experience on frame rate and everything, but you also have the company making the engine optimizing for it and getting it to run as best they can.
Right.
There's no chance for PUBG. There's none.
No, it doesn't run very well on Xbox.
Yeah.
Speaking of not Xbox, but speaking of indie games, did you hear that Shovel Knight has a new game to announce? Shovel Knight fucking Yacht Club Games has a new Shovel Knight game to announce on next week, which I assume is during the Direct on Tuesday.
It has to be during the Direct. There's another one.
Yeah. So something's coming from them. My guess, Battle Royale. 100 Knights, one shovel.
Fight over the shovel.
Yep. That's my guess. We'll see. But everyone enjoy the Direct, and we'll talk about the news on next Sunday, which will be hitting your eardrums on Monday.
Yep, and I'll have stuff to talk about PAX.
Shit. Yeah, that's right. You'll be at PAX. You'll have hands-on impressions from games. And
so we can talk if we'll record Sunday or Monday.
Maybe we'll record a little late, depending on PAX. Yeah.
Because I get home Sunday night.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know when.
Let's just say we'll record Monday and drop the podcast on Tuesday so everyone knows it'll be out that next Tuesday.
Yeah, and we'll talk about... I'll tell you all about my PAX. And
sounds awesome.
Yeah, should be good.
All right, man. That was episode 154. Thanks, everyone, for listening. We will see you next week.
All right. Later, everyone.